Welcome back to Life of the Germ. I'm your host Jeremy, and um, I don't know if you can see it in my face, but um, months of build up for this exam, and it's finally done. And I knew this is how exactly what was gonna happen, and I'm just like at peace with the world right now. Um, yeah, I had this big exam. All PhD students have this sort of exam. Uh, and it sort of separates like a student from what's called like a PhD candidate. Um, so if you pass, basically the faculty that examined you deem you worthy of like qualifying to get your PhD, right? So it doesn't mean you're like it's the exam that's going to like have you get the PhD, but now you're like, okay, they're like, we can see that you can obviously do this. So now we want to see you like get the data and do it, you know? So it's just great because it's like it's usually between like either your second or your third year for most PhD programs, and it's just like so stressful because like up until that point you're kind of like questioning, you're like, am I doing things right? Like there's not always a lot of grades and like ways to gauge things. So um for a pass to be given on a qualifying exam is just like the best thing ever because it just provides you with so much confidence that like what you're doing is right and you're on the right path, right? So that was like really cool to see. So I did that Thursday. It went well. It's like an oral exam, so you get up in front and you give like a 10-minute presentation, and then like the next 2 hours like you're just in a room with like five faculty, and then they'll go and like question your project and things, and like um, it just challenge you scientifically and to try to think on spot and come up with answers, right? And it's not just like what's the powerhouse of the cell, right? It's like how would you test experiment X, Y, Z, you know? Um, so yeah, I'm just so pumped that that's done with, and I'm going around, and it's funny. Like this weekend, I was like, "Wait, Denver is like so cool." Like before, I was so stressed that it's like you can only appreciate something so much. But now that I'm just like, it literally feels like I'm on summer break now, and I'm going to lab tomorrow. But I'm like so excited because I'm like, I can finally just do the science, and I don't feel like I'm getting questioned all the time, you know. So, um, yeah, I went out, I celebrated. I went to concerts, I went to a couple bars, hung out with a lot of friends this weekend, like just to try to celebrate because it has been a long push these past couple months, and yeah, kind of based on that, like story time. I went to this concert on Friday, and I'm at the bar, and I get a round of drinks when I get there. I just get a Modelo, and for some reason, the bartender like doesn't give me a lime, which I didn't ask for. I was like, okay, like I obviously asked for a beer. Like sometimes they'll give you a lime with a Modelo though. And then like the next round, like probably like half an hour later or something, like I come back, I get another Modelo, and this one comes with a lime. And usually I'm used to the limes with Modelo's in the terms of like a glass bottle, but this was like a can, and I was like, "You're gonna give me a lime for a can?" It was just like, bruh, like, so I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll squirt it." But like the lime was like, with like the lime with the beer, like you can kind of just squeeze it in the glass bottle. Like with the can, I'm like, the lime was like double the size of the opening. I was like, there is no way that I'm squeezing this lime in here. So like I squeeze it a little to get the juice out, and then I just have this like rind of lime, and I'm like, okay, like what am I gonna do with it? I look around, I don't see any garbage. I'm like, okay, like I guess I'll just like set this on the bar. Like I don't know. So like I like go up to the bartender and I ask her, I was like, what do I do with this? Like I don't like I'm like I don't know why this was even given to me, to be honest. And she looks at me with like the most angry look ever, and she's like, and then she takes it, doesn't even say a word, and like just throws it at the garbage behind the bar. And I'm like, okay. It was just like so pitiful. Like it's just laughable to me how like easy like people get mad at things, and it's just like, dude, like I'm sorry, like I'm sorry I had this lime and I didn't want to just like throw it on the floor, you know? It's just like so stupid, but kind of a funny story. Like, and I like in the moment I was just like, dude, why? Like, why did you just do that? Like, it was so wild to me. Um, we can you can discuss it in the comments who was right or who was wrong. I was probably in the wrong, but her reaction, I'm not sure it was justified like at all. But that was story time for this week. I kind of like this because it takes really like, of course I have a lot of like fire stories that you guys would be like, "Oh my God, how did that happen?" Right? But like I like these little weekly stories because they're like little things that happen throughout my week that normally I don't like grant gratitude towards them because I like I don't know, they're just like little events, right? Like that exchange was like that 10-second thing, but it was like everything in that exchange. I was just like, dude, that was crazy. Like, and it makes me like appreciate those more. So I'm glad I've like incorporated that. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I did concerts and stuff, and so I got a week of lab, and then to give myself a break for just working my butt off this past like 2-3 months, I'm gonna take a week off and head back to the homeland to Wisconsin, and I got my buddy's bachelor party, and basically me and all my high school buddies are gonna meet up and just hang out for like 4 or 5 days, which like, oh dude, like anyone knows like as you get older that like that just doesn't happen anymore. Like especially for me when I'm out of the city, but even for them, like they maybe get a night together, right? So to have like 4 consecutive days where like all the and this is another thing about guys like girls I feel like tend to be pretty good planners, like guys are not, so to like somehow have a day where we all agree we're all gonna take off and then just like spend 4 days together like in a cabin and like on the lake, like it's, I mean it's just gonna be so fun. Like, and I'm so excited. So I'm just gonna try to lock in and try to let this week cruise by if I can, because um the more I think about that, the slower the week is gonna go. So I'm just gonna try to focus in. But yeah, I mean, I uploaded late, obviously, because I was just nervous for my exam. But I'm glad I was able to get this in, and you guys will probably get 2 episodes this week. Since Sunday is like the start of the week. I don't know. I have a lot of qualms about that. I always feel like Monday to me makes a little more sense, like because I think why is because Sunday is considered the week end, right? Like, think about that. Think about that. Weekend, right? Why do we call it the weekend if Sunday's the beginning of the week? Like, that doesn't, that, think about that. Um, but wisdom of the week. Oh, also, yeah, yeah. So that record here, um, is Indigo Waves. This was like the opener for the show. Dude, they signed it. I mean, they're not that popular, but like it's still so sick. And I was cranking it today. So Indigo Waves, those dudes, I forget what their names are, but if you're listening, hell yeah, bro. That was so good. Though the show was so sick. Um, but anyways, I guess like getting right into it right away. I pre-drew the drawing today because it was a little more advanced. I know you like that. Yeah, you know what the title what it is. I don't know if you could if I showed you this you could actually tell. Honestly, these things are like a defining feature of Thanos though, so I feel like maybe you could figure it out. If I just want to like I should do that, like just do a little like mini thing where I just like I go up on the street in Denver and I'm just like, who is this? And we just like see what happens. And out of 10 people, like how many would get it right? You know, like drop in the comments. Out of 10 people, how many would guess this is Thanos? Because that's what I'm trying to get. Like, I feel like I keep doing this every week. I want to become such a good drawer. Like, it's gonna be crazy. But, okay, Thanos. For all the Marvel heads out there, I know you guys clicked in. I know you guys tapping in. You want to know what's up. So, um, Thanos gets at the idea of like we all know the snap, right? And I was thinking about this the other day, and it really is something that you can overlook. But the snap is, I think Marvel maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know, but like to me, that's thematically symbolizing like this idea that this snap can real like if this snap is your life, right? Which it is in Marvel. Like this snap can occur at any point in your life. Like right now, I could just have a heart attack and die. Like and it and what you quickly deduce about this life is that like not a single second is guaranteed on this planet. And what you then gain from that is maybe fear, right? But also like this idea that like it allows you to think of things that you're scared of in like a different kind of way, right? So like if I'm scared of doing something and then this thought pops into my head, like if I can just think of like the snap, right? Where I'm like, I could literally die tomorrow and I'm not going to do this because of why? Because I don't want to, because I'm nervous, because I'm like, and it's like and it doesn't always happen. Sometimes when I make these like decisions and I get nervous, I let the nerves kind of consume me and I'm like, I end up being like, nah, I'm not going to do it. But like part of me wonders like for these things, like there's got to be some way to like train your mind to sort of like when that comes and you feel the nerves, like if you can get that thing where like a snap just pops into your head and you're like, wait, I could die tomorrow. And then like what I often find if that thought pops into my head, that usually wins out over the nerves because it's like ultimately that's what makes life pretty like it's a weird way to think about it, but it actually makes life very fun, right? Because like you never know when it's your last day. So like you might as well have as much fun during every day, right? Because like you like today, the day like you're watching this today, like this could be your last day on this planet, right? And it's like you might as well like do the things you want to do, spend time with the people you want to like spend time with, like and don't like think twice about things. Like just do it, And um I was going to expand on this and say that like for me, knowing that the snap is always there is like it kind of puts into perspective then like I want to consume as much of this world as I can. And that means like trying new things, going to new places, doing things that like I've never done before, right? It's like you want to experience as much as you can on this planet, kind of like making the most out of what's given to you, right? And that's my view of looking at it, right? And I know so many people that like live by this way, but the difference is that are they are they A trying to encourage others to live that way, which is fine, but then B are they looking down upon others that aren't living that way? And that's really something that I've like tried to train myself not to do because like people can still see the snap and be like, okay, like my version of fun is like like hanging out and watching a movie on the weekend, and like experiencing art. Like someone directed that movie and created this, like they want to like engage in that art or whatever it is. I don't know, like maybe they just enjoy like watching movies and like hanging out and kind of lounging and like or maybe they enjoy the really simple things of like I don't know, like watching the birds or something. I don't My parents came like a few weekends ago and they were like in love with like these birds on the trees and stuff and like I didn't understand that, but like if that's what you like to do, like do it. For me, it's like I'm very go go go. Like I want to go on these different adventures, do these different things, but like I understand that like that's not like I personally believe that's the best way to live for me, but that doesn't mean it's the best way to live for everyone. Like who am I to say what the best way to live is? But like ultimately, what I think you have to acknowledge at least is that this snap is always here. That's always there. And you now knowing that fact, you decide how you want to live. I mean, do you want to live in fear the rest of your life? I mean, probably not. It's like, yeah, we know this is here, but that doesn't scare me, right? It's like that day is going to come, but because I know that day is going to come, before it comes, let's have a party, let's do fun stuff, Um so yeah, that's what I would say about that. And um similar to that, and like on a similar topic, my sister just graduated college. Shout out my sis. I know she's tuning in right now, and I wrote her like a little like post grad letter, and like part of the thing that I've reflected on, because I've been out of college for a couple years now, is like how I've sort of like dealt with post grad and like all the responsibility and all the like different things that come with it, right? And like what I kind of included in the letter was that like um in college you don't, in terms of fun, like anything fun that happens, the fun sort of comes to you, right? Like you don't have to really, in college you don't have to like seek fun. Like by just being on campus, the fun is kind of like there. Like just honestly living on campus, that in and of itself was like fun, you know? Like so you didn't really have to try like to find fun, right? Whereas like post grad, the biggest thing I've learned I think from post grad is that it's so much more conscious, and it is like so much of what you make of it. Like and it is like you have to create the fun, or you have to consciously seek it and put in effort and energy, like, and that's something that I've realized, like for a celebration, for example, like me getting over this exam, right? Like I could have just finished this exam and not set up anything, not like reach out to my friends to like get them together to do this, to do that. Like this is all energy, this is taking energy, right? In college, like some of that stuff you still had to do, but generally, I mean, like you could argue that a lot of that stuff just like you go to class, it's fun. Like, I mean, maybe not for everyone. I shouldn't say that, but like, I guess in terms of like the social setting, like say you have a friend in a class, like that's sick. And you could argue like you have friends at work and stuff, but it's different, you know? Like, I think you guys get what I'm saying. But like post grad is so much more like, okay, you want to do this and have a fun time, you got to put in the energy to get to that point. You got to set it up. You got to do this. You got to do that. But what I've come to realize is that, like, if you're willing to put in the energy, you can have just as much fun in college, if not more. Like, for real. And it's going to take a lot more work because you're not on campus and all these different reasons. But, like, it can still be super super fun, like, and like this weekend was a great example of that. Like I was actively seeking fun. Like I went to a concert, like I had my friends over last night, we went on, we went out for a night in the city, we were checking out new places, new parts of the city that I've never seen. Like that was an adventure, like that was fun. But the thing of it is was that like you have to seek that, right? Like when you get a job, like your life gets busier. As you get older, you get busier. Like you got to still carve out that time for that. Whereas in college, you had so much free time. I was like, you don't have to do that. So like, and I think these two kind of synergize off of each other. Like if knowing that that snap is always there, and knowing if you're post grad that like, this fact that A, I could die at any time, right? And then B, okay, now we're post grad, so we actually have to put in the work. But since you remember the snap, you're like, again, like it comes back to like, oh, like I will definitely put in the work if that means like I can have a fun time, And like, um, yeah, like I, I, I would do it again, like in a heartbeat. And I think I've sort of been able to figure out post grad a little bit and understand like you have to live differently to be happy than in college, right? Like it is this more conscious effort. Like to be happy post grad, like you have to consciously be like exerting energy towards setting up things, doing fun stuff, like, but once I found that out, it's like, wait, this is lit. Like it's so fun. Like, um, and instead of like this little campus being your oyster, like it's literally the world or the city you live in or like whatever things are around you. Like for me, like it's the mountains, it's the city, it's the people, it's the parks. Like I'm like, this is so much better than a college campus. Like there's so much more to do, Like so like yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about lately. And but yeah, if there's one thing I want you guys to take away from this video, it's like when you get nervous about something, but like it's something you really want to do, but it's something that's like like your nerves or something's holding you back. because you're like uncomfortable, remember this snap. Remember this. Remember that you could die 10 seconds from now. And as you're dying, you're going to look back 10 seconds before and be like, I should have done that. Like as you're dying, and it's like you don't want that. Like you want to look back and be like, yeah, I mean, I tried, and I did it, and I like remembered the snap, and now the snap's happening, but you know, we all knew it was coming. Um, so yeah, tune in. Probably on Wednesday, I'm gonna try to get back on my like regular cycle again and get back into it. But little double upload for this week. Hope you guys enjoy. And this is Life of the Germ. I'm your host Jeremy, and thank you.